Hey everyone, it's Trader Rob. Today is Wednesday, April 16th. And this week's been definitely a little different than the last couple of weeks. Monday and Tuesday, we were just stuck in this ridiculous type of range, really no movement at all. We did have Powell speaking here today, which caused a little bit of movement, but definitely much tamer than the few weeks prior. So let's get into how the weekly levels are reacting to price action and what we can expect for the rest of the week right after the intro. As always, nothing that I state on my channel is financial advice. Trading futures or any type of trading is risky business. Any capital that is put out there is at risk for loss. All right, so as I stated in the beginning of the video, much different markets than what we've been experiencing the last couple of weeks on the ES and the NQ. I know gold has been absolutely ripping, um, but with the, let's just call it super tight ranges. Well, I say tight, but I mean it's still a pretty decent range. But real no breakout, no price action movement. We did have Powell obviously speaking here today at 12:30 Central Time, which finally got us underneath this band. But if we go over how the weekly levels and some of the daily levels that I've been mentioning, or tradable levels that I've been mentioning on the weekly, on this video that I posted on Sunday, let's take a look and see what price action, how it's kind of been reacting to. So again, Monday, Tuesday, we were just really stuck in this entire just nasty range. Really not coincidentally, but I even posted in my signals chat. It's been 3 days since I've taken a trade. None of just this tight movement really didn't get us to any of my signal entry levels, and we finally got really close today. And I'll go into that here in a little bit. But as you can see, price action, was pretty much sitting in between these two bands for about 2 days. Finally, we got some movement. This was after hours yesterday, bounced right on that 18,649 level that I spoke to you guys about on Sunday. So we did get a reaction right from there. And then as Powell spoke, blew right through a level that I was looking at, that I had on the chart from Sunday, and this is where we obviously currently sit. So below us, we've got another band that's down to 17,494, which it's got about 1,000 points away. And again, the last couple of weeks, 1,000 points was almost the norm on the daily range. The last couple of days, nowhere near that. So we'll see, but there's a pretty big void in here where I can see price action getting a little bit aggressive and wonky, either heading in one direction or the other. On the NQ, some levels I think to look out for. Got one here. Let me just map it out. Let's see. I like white. Make this one dotted. And we'll put this at 18. What is it? 18,872. So we got a level there that I'm going to really look out for the next for Thursday. We're not trading on Friday, so we'll see what price action can do. And then I've got one more that I want to add to my chart, and that one's at 18,535. So 535 is going to be somewhere right around here. 18,535, and again, let's put this one to. There we go, 18,535. This one we can delete. So this was a level here, the 18,649. I told you got respected. We had price action bounce off that level a few times, but right above us, we've got this level at 18,535. 1835 that I'll be looking at, and another one at 18,872 on the NQ. If we switch over to the ES, I mean, so I gave you guys this level 54.69 on Sunday, and price action came right up to it. And I mean, it bounced off this level. This is a 1 hour chart, but I mean, this was just, you could just tell that this is exactly the level where price action really just could not get over, was just stuck to it like an absolute magnet. We finally, through Powell's, the movement through Powell's speech, we were finally able to tap into this lower band between that 52.97 and 52.58. And as you can see, we pretty much did close out that band, and then we started to bounce back to the upside. Below us, we've got another band at that 52.10, 51.78, tradable level at the 51.88. 52.73 is an area. Let's map this one out. 52.73. And we'll dot that line. So 52.73 right here. So right in this middle part of this band area. Obviously, once price action left some pretty decent volume there. So that's an area that I'll be definitely looking at. And 53.80, so right above it. 53.80. We will put this one white dotted right there. This one we can delete. I don't know what that one's doing there. So we've got a few levels. So 51.88 is a tradable area that I see. 52.73, another tradable area that I see. And above us, we've got an area at 53.80. Obviously, this 54.69 level from Sunday has just been an absolute magnet. But again, it's just been tapped into so many times that, and this area right below it got the point of control still for the week. But as you can see, that volume right at that 54.69 is the developing, or I should say, the initial point of control. So this level is much weaker at that point. I would definitely take a look at these three. And then as far as just my personal trading, I haven't taken a trade setup in 3 days. None of the signals. And obviously, I mean, I take a look back because I typically take 1 to 2 trades per day on my signals, and it's been pretty consistent. Sometimes there's 1, sometimes there'll be 2, but to have go through 3 days, and then I take a look at price action, and it doesn't surprise me, because do I want to be trading in all of this crap right here? No. Finally, we got some movement today. And we actually had a signal on the ES and a signal on the NQ on a level that I really, really liked. And of course, what happens? Price action starts to get really close to that level at about 12:10, 12:15 in the afternoon, about 15 minutes before Powell. So then I go on to my signal service and I pretty much tell people, hey, listen, we're really close to the signals. But Powell's speaking at 12:30, and it really complicates the signal, because as you guys, if you've been trading for any amount of time, you know that high impact news has a very strong reaction to the market, especially the Fed, especially Powell, especially in this climate that we're currently in, where any headlines is just a blast through. So I pretty much had to invalidate both of the setups about 10 or 15 minutes. I posted that about 15 or 20 minutes before Powell came out. And it was a great move, because this thing just skyrocketed straight down. And, I just didn't want to be a part of that. So a part of me is bummed out that I haven't had a trade in a few days, but at the same time, I'm not red, I'm not green, and the setups are just not there. When you're stuck in this for 2.5 days, it's very difficult to trade. I mean, yes, you could be 50-50. You could be right 50% of the time for sure in this crap. but you've got to be really range bound trading. And it's just kept me out of some really bad trades, which I like. And then the trade signals that I did have right prior to Powell coming on, I mean, they came about 2 points, maybe a point or 2 points away from my entry, and kept sweeping my take profit one and my take profit two. And for those that are following my levels and following my signals, they already know that this is a pattern that this will invalidate a signal for me because I was off by maybe a point or two for my entry. And that will happen. I mean, it's not an absolute perfect science, but this is exactly what I like to see. Would I have loved to see another point or two down? Absolutely. But the fact that I had the patience and the experience to know what those news events start to do, I already told myself I'm not putting myself in a position to take a trade at 12:30 today, and this was exactly when we got that pretty strong movement down. And then the same thing on my NQ signal. I had an NQ signal to go long at 18,457, and this is down to the 30-second. What I showed you on the ES was the 1 minute, but this was the 30-second chart that I was looking at prior to this trade, and same situation. I mean, this candle right here came a point or two away from my entry on the NQ and missed it and swept all of these, both take profit one and take profit two. So my setup internally, I know that my setup is right, and but sometimes you miss it by a point or two, and that's just the way that trading is going to go. So even though I have not taken a trade, I still feel good about the discipline that I've really had this week, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. No trading Friday. But I will give you guys my end of week recap, and then hopefully we get some trades tomorrow, and take a look at my video for Sunday for the fresh levels for next week. Let me know in the comments how you've navigated the markets the last couple of days. I'd like to see some of the engagement on the videos. I kind of hate saying it because I hear it so many times in these videos, but it does help. I would appreciate a like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. But more importantly, let me know how you guys have been trading, how it's been, and how you've been kind of navigating the increased volatility and the complete lack of volatility over the last 2 days. All right, see you guys soon.